So I'm going to talk today about something I'm very passionate about, and it's basketball, of course, because I played it. I've played it since I was 3 years old and up, and I absolutely love it. I actually play here at Thomas More, so I actually love it. The history of basketball begins with the invention of the game in 1891 in Springfield, Massachusetts. Throughout the 20th century, leagues developed, such as the NCAA and the NBA, and a bunch of other leagues have developed. And it's actually considered the most popular sports in our history today. It was created by James Naismith in 1891, and the purpose of it was to condition football players during the winter. So, um, it consisted of peach baskets on either side of the floor, and a soccer ball, like basically a soccer ball. He published 13 rules for the new game. He divided his class of 18 into two teams of nine players in each, and set them down and told them about like the rules and how to play and everything that was involved in this new game that he created. So he said the object of the game was to throw the basketball into the fruit baskets and that were into the fruit baskets nailed to the lower railing of the gym. And every time a point was scored, that the game was halted so the janitor can bring out the ladder and retrieve the ball. Um, he later then realized as the game progressed and people were playing it more and more that he should probably cut the bottom of the fruit basket so the game didn't have to hold and it could flow a lot more freely. And actually, that's what he did. And the first public basketball game was played in Springfield, Massachusetts on March 11th, 1892. Now, the way that basketball has spread so much throughout history, was due to the YMCA, the military, the army, and that's how it spread to other parts of the world, like United States, Canada, and all the other countries. Like, it's because of those major groups. Um, Now, the first professional league was founded in 1898, and six teams took part of this league. And the first champions were the Trenton Nationals, followed by the New York Wanderers, the Bristol Pile Drivers, and the Camden Electrics. Now, the league was abandoned and the Camden Electrics was actually abandoned in 1904. But as that was abandoned, many small other championships and many other teams were organized, but most of them were not as important because all they wanted to do was play for money. So as time went on, people realized that it was actually a fun game. You don't actually need to play for money, but that's how it was at the beginning. Um, Actually, while playing, interesting fact is while playing at the college level, we play Geneva College, and that's interesting because they are known as the birthplace of basketball. So it's kind of interesting that we actually get to play a team that is considered the birthplace of where basketball always started. So the greatest level of basketball, um, of early basketball activity, was at the American college levels. Um, the first record of an organized game was played between Geneva and New Brighton YMCA on April 8th, 1893, in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, which is where Geneva is located. Geneva actually did win this game, and it was 3-0. And that's why Geneva calls itself the birthplace of college basketball, is because that is where the first organized college basketball game took place, and that's why they're so basketball oriented at that in that state. Just from my experience and reading from the history and everything, you really have to have a passion for basketball. You can't go into basketball and just think it's a breeze. I mean, it's really not a hard sport to play, but once you have to put in the time, the passion, the dedication, all this stuff to play basketball, and that's what these early players actually did for us. They actually sat down, played it a bunch of different ways, and saw what worked and what didn't work. So that's why there's so many different rules, and everything is just different between now and then because they kept improving the game. And that is it. Personally, as a basketball player, I'm grateful for that because the game we play today is so much. I don't want to say. I mean, it is easier because it's a lot easier to understand. There's not It's not you have to stop a game every single point to get a ball out of the basket. It's the fact that they switched the metal the from the fruit baskets to the metal rim with the net that had an opening in the bottom so it can just flow. The game just flows now. So from reading the history and like looking up at like all this stuff, I did find the differences. First, as I said, was the peach baskets that were closed, and peach baskets were closed, so the ball had to be stopped, or the game had to be stopped, and the balls had to be taken out manually. They eventually did put a small hole in the bottom so it would flow through, but what was it? Sorry, I got sidetracked. But in 1906, they actually did invent the metal hoop, the nets, and then the backboard, which is what we use today. I mean, they're not going to be exactly the same as they were, but the basics of it and the improvement of it is just outstanding, and how much people actually care about the sport. Um, Along with this line, the early soccer ball that they used was replaced by a spelling ball, which is what we use today. Um, so that's pretty much my informative speech about how basketball was brought about and the history of basketball and how much I love the game. I'm so passionate about the game, and it's just something that you have to, if you want to play, you have to put in your all, your time, everything you have, until you don't want to play anymore. But I mean, that's people's opinion. So sorry I do not have an audience. I mean, things got a little crazy over at the household, so I hope you like it. Thank you.